Hello and welcome back to our speaker series. I am so excited to be with Ronia Fraser today, and she's coming to us all the way from Germany. So welcome, Ronia.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have such a beautiful and amazing breadth of different NLP trainers, NLP practitioners from all over the world. And you are so welcome to join us at the NLP Global Summit this year.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here.
So as we are to have you. So tell us, let's begin. Tell our members who you are and how you got your start with NLP.
Sure. So my name is Ronia Fraser, and I am an NLP Master Practitioner, NLP Trainer. I'm also the ANLP Ambassador, International Ambassador for Germany. I have been nominated for the NLP in Healthcare Award 2021-2022. So as you can tell, I'm super passionate about NLP. That's why I'm so excited to be here. And as you just said, I'm in Germany right now. I'm based in the UK. I usually split my time between the UK and the US. And so what was your question? How did I start my
got
journey?
your start, yes, with NLP.
How I got my start. It was actually quite, it wasn't planned. It just kind of happens. I was going through a very difficult time in my life, and I was kind of looking for a way to get myself out of the funk, if you will. And I started with coaching, and the NLP practitioner was part of my coaching training. So that's how I kind of got like an introduction into the NLP, and it had such a profound effect on me that while I was still doing my coaching training, I already went off and furthered my NLP training and became NLP Master Practitioner. Then I did my NLP Trainers training. And as I said, it wasn't planned, but it was literally a game changer and a lifesaver.
Wow, I love it. That's such an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing, Ronnie. Now, share with our members what they will learn from your presentation at the NLP Global Summit.
Yeah, so my presentation is all about narcissistic abuse, which has become quite a big buzzword over the last couple of years. And I've been doing this work for over 5 years now. So when I started out, it didn't mean anything. So actually, it's quite good that by now, it means something. People start talking about it. And emotional and psychological abuse has a very detrimental impact on the mental health, the physical health, and the quality of life of the survivor. And even though it's one of the most common forms of abuse, it's one of the least understood and least acknowledged forms of abuse as well. And needless to say, I went through it myself. You don't end up working in this kind of field unless it has happened to you. And I remember that I was literally being written off. I was told there was nothing that could be done about, my mental health, and that would just be the life I would lead going forward. And I went on this mission to find something to reverse the damage as effectively as it was caused, so call it German efficiency, if you will. So my talk is all about, because it happens to so many people, it's just everywhere. It can be a relationship, it can be a boss, it can be a parent, it can be a friend, a sibling. It's literally everywhere. So my talk is all about what it actually is, because it's thrown around so much. And with social media, it gets quite overused at times or misused at times. So it's all about what is it really, what makes it so dangerous. And most importantly, I'm going to share some really practical tools, step by step, that we can use, NLP tools, to actually, reverse the effect it has had. And as I said, I'm super passionate about it because so often, well, most of the time, really, the survivors are literally written off. And I'm here to tell everybody, no, actually, there's something you can do about it. There is a way out of this nightmare. And NLP is an absolutely incredible tool. And if it hadn't been for NLP, I wouldn't be alive today. So it's a very practical introduction into how we can apply. So whether it's, whether you are a professional, NLP professional, and you just are curious what this is all about, or maybe you had clients that came to you asking for help and you weren't quite sure how to deal with it, or whether you're a survivor yourself, or you have a friend or family member. It's literally for everybody. I would like to encourage everybody to just swing by and take a listen, because it's quite an eye-opening topic once we become aware of it, and we can do something about it. And I think that's the most important part of all of it.
Wow, that is amazing and so necessary. I'm so excited for myself, for my own personal application, and understanding of the tools and techniques in NLP as to how you can apply them in that field. I love that you're so specialized in what you focus on in terms of your niche and your market, because narcissism is huge, and as you said, it is such a buzzword, but so necessary, and so many people are completely traumatized. And
I literally don't think there is I literally don't think there is anybody who hasn't been affected or doesn't know anybody who has. And the more we talk about it, the more we become aware. Like sometimes I give trainings for like hypnosis practitioners or NLP practitioners specifically on that topic, and not all of them are actually impacted, or they think they aren't, and they're just curious or do like some CPD or whatnot, and then they walk out of the training and go like, oh my God, I had like this light bulb moment, actually this, now all of a sudden I understand what's happening here. And I mean, obviously I want a lot of people to come and see my presentation, but I really would like to encourage everybody to have a listen, because it's so insightful and eye-opening at times. And oftentimes it comes to realization where all of a sudden puzzle pieces start falling together, where things start making more sense. And especially because there's so much out there, so much information now. I mean, when I started, there was literally nothing, right? There's so much information right now, which is rather overwhelming. So I think just for personal and professional curiosity, to really check in to see what is this actually about, like removing the whole like social media buzz around it, but actually going like, okay, this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, well, it is so important, and like you said, as NLP practitioners, and when you go into the field of coaching, you don't know, and there's so many applications of NLP, and when you find something that so deeply has affected you in your life that you can apply the tools of NLP to that, and really change your life and the lives of others, that's when the magic happens in this field.
Yeah. Well, literally like magic, magic. Like when I started my NLP journey, and keeping in mind that I was told there was nothing I could do and that would be my life going forward, and I was so determined. So I guess I was literally just open to whatever, would work. It took me 5 months to become complex post-traumatic stress symptom free, and that was without any specific application. I just took what I was given, and my unconscious mind did what it needed to do to get me where I wanted to be. And then needless to say, it worked. So I got trained and then tweaked it for the very particular purpose. So now when I work with people or when I give training, it's really specifically for that purpose. There is no second guessing anymore. I mean, obviously every now and then you adjust something, right? As you continue to grow and learn and experiences and all of that. But as I said, if it hadn't been for NLP, I literally would not be alive today.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I sure am glad that you are, and so will anybody who watches your presentation and gets an opportunity to experience this magic in real life at the summit. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing and for coming and joining the summit. So tell me, why was it important for you to be a part of the NLP Global Summit?
Because as I said, I think it's such an important and current and just all relevant topic that's out there. And it's very important for us as professionals to have the awareness. So I'm not saying that everybody who's an NLP practitioner or master practitioner can actually deal with that kind of trauma, because we're talking about really complex trauma. But I think having the awareness, and I'll be talking about that in my presentation as well, like how do you actually spot it when somebody comes to you, what to listen out for, what to look out for, because then at least you know what you're dealing with. You can refer them to a specialist, right? And so first of all, it's because I want to raise awareness that this is a really serious and important topic, and it's so common. And it's very likely that if you do work in NLP, that somebody might come and ask for help. So it's just to raise the awareness that this exists, how you can spot it, but then also obviously depending on what the the kind of line of work of the practitioner is, because obviously some of us do work in trauma, really give some practical tools in a structured way, because that way obviously everybody can help their clients in a much better, effective way, because it's specifically designed for the purpose. And then again, for everybody who's experienced it, it's really important for me to get the word out that yes, there is something that can be done about it, and it's so much easier than it's made out to be. It doesn't have to be this long and painful journey. With the right tools and the right support, it can actually be rather quick and fun, even after we push through the first the resistance and the first few challenges. But of course, as we all know in the NLP profession, NLP is what makes anything possible, right? So it's how we create our life. So eventually, and that's my favorite part of my work, when you go through the healing work and all of a sudden there's this blank canvas, and then you start creating and support your clients to lead their most magnificent life that they can lead.
Yeah, that's right. That they never even thought they had the potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Wow. So that being said, what would you say to anybody who's thinking about registering and joining us at the NLP Global Summit?
Well, I would highly recommend it, because we have a whole list of really outstanding top NLP professionals, and whether it's, in personal development or whether it's for professional development, the way we can use NLP, it's so wide ranged. I would really encourage everybody to just check out maybe some of the talks that are not even that relevant, because if anything, it's inspiring to start with, and then our unconscious mind, right, will pick up everything that's of relevance anyway to start with. And I'm very much looking forward to also joining the summit as an attendant, because I'm always looking for new inspiration or some tools here and there. So everybody who is on the fence, what do you have to lose? Nothing. And like, you have everything to gain. So
everything to gain. It's so true. And you never stop learning in this profession. There's always more to learn. You've never reached the pinnacle of your game, because there are people like you who who've been able to take these amazing tools and apply them specifically to specific problems that people are being affected by, and that you can completely change their worlds. And we have such a diversity of that within the summit in the presentations, which is so exciting. So it will change many lives, I have no doubt. Now, speaking of tools and specific things, this is like my bonus question, Ronnie. So what is your favorite NLP tool?
Yeah, that's a really tricky question, because there's so many, right? And I can give you a whole list, but I think one of my favorite things is anchoring, really, because you can use anchoring in so many different ways, and it's so very simple. Like, you can instantly change your state. It's something that I teach every single one of my clients, And, you know, if we just think of the circle of excellence, for example, where we can instantly stack some resources that we need. I have one myself when I do public speaking, because I was so rubbish at public speaking, I would literally almost pass out. Whereas now, you know, I have my circle of excellence, and it's a door. Actually, it's not a circle, but like you know, throw my door out before I go on stage, and then I walk through, and, you know, I get the rush. And also because, you know, abuse survivors, there is a lot of the lack of self-esteem and self-belief and, you know, those kind of things. So anchoring is a very, very nice way to get resources. What I also use a lot is anchoring on objects, like, for example, a ring. Where, and I'll be talking more about that as well in the presentation, but where I anchor energetic fields, protective shields, because when we talk about narcissistic abuse, there's a lot of energy exchange happening as well, which is a big part of the hook, right? So I use anchoring in that sense as well, where we, for example, create protective shields so that energy doesn't actually penetrate us anymore.
Amazing.
And then you can put it on any kind of objects. So with anchoring, it's such a simple tool, but you can use it in so many different ways. So I think that has to be the favorite. As I said, I have a whole list of favorite tools, but that one, just for the simplicity and the effect, I think is fantastic.
Wow. Yes. And you know, you're not the first person to say that the field of or the circle of excellence is what they use before they go on stage. Because it's
fantastic.
so powerful. And you know, we as trainers, when you know, get to this level, there's just so many things that you just do. NLP is just part of your life every day.
Absolutely.
You just embrace it, and it's just part of everything. But I've never anchored like a ring or an object, so I'm excited to learn more about that in your presentation.
Yeah.
Ronia Fraser, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for this enlightening interview, for sharing your beautiful story and your nuggets of wisdom. I, for one, cannot wait to watch your presentation. I cannot wait to see you at the summit, and I'm so grateful to have you part of the NLP Global Summit. So if you're watching this and if you're on the fence, you need to purchase, or you need to just register. It's free. The summit is free, but if you want to get the replay and you want to be able to watch all of these amazing presentations over and over and over again, you just upgrade to the VIP, and you'll be able to come backstage and chat with all of us, all the presenters, ask questions, learn more about it, and of course, we have some awards that we're going to be giving out to the best presentations and trainers and so on and so forth. So you know, you're in with a shot to obviously to speak to that point as a VIP participant. So we would highly recommend to upgrade to VIP, so that you can have these recordings, so that you can go back to them if, for instance, you ever have a client who presents themselves to you with narcissistic trauma in their life, and you might just get a few nuggets of wisdom to help. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for this interview, and I can't wait to see you at the summit.
Thank you. See you there.
Bye.